I've gotten quite a few questions on how I take my underexposed photos from underexposed to this. So let's go over that. So I have quite a few presets that I've built out myself over the years of photography, and that's usually where I start with is as a base of a preset. Today we're going to select R5 Punchy because I shot this on an R5, and then we're going to make some slight exposure adjustments. So I want to get this in the area that I want it to be, but it doesn't have to be perfect right now. From there, we're going to do color balance. I'm adjusting temperature here, and as you can see, kind of warming it up a little bit, pulling some of the magenta tones from the skin tones, and then basically like dialing this in where I want it to be. From there, we're going to go to the S-curves, and in S-curves, I like to fade my blacks a little bit, so that far left dot's going to come up just slightly, and then I'm going to push down the second dot, which is going to be your shadows, and then I'll just make micro adjustments from there with the highlights, the midtones, and the whites. I like to get this dialed in, like my contrast as much as possible there. Sharpening, I pretty much always run it at 69, somewhere between 2.5 and 2.9 on the radius. Details always between 60 and 80, and then the masking I push up pretty high just because that's how it works. Now, I also almost always turn off my lens corrections just because I don't like the way they look most of the time. And then from there, I'm going to adjust the effects. So we're pulling the grain down on this. My preset does have it set to 29. 21, I think, is probably a safer area. And then we're going to do the effects as far as texture and clarity. Dehaze is going to go to -5 just to brighten up the image a little bit. And then I like my clarity. Usually at 27, it just feels like a safe spot. The noise reduction, I usually will take to like 9 or 12. I don't like to go much higher than that because it starts to soften the image up like too much, but play around with it, see what looks good. So in this particular instance, we ended up going with 13. It just felt like a good space. And as you can see, I zoom in and kind of like figure out what I like. Added a little bit of detail, a little bit of contrast in there. And then for color noise reduction, I usually stick around like the base, which is 25. So 22, 25, 28, somewhere in that area. Color noise reduction, I usually don't get a ton of. From there, I'm going to go into my color wheels and just do some slight color grading, make sure that like all my skin tones look the way that I want them to, my highlights, my shadows, and just kind of pull stuff around. You can see I'm playing with it here and how much it changes the image. So this, I'm going to put the highlights kind of between like a yellow and an orange just to warm them up slightly. And that brings out some like nice highlight colors. And then from there, I pretty much just do some minor adjustments to the exposure and contrast and all that stuff. And that's your final image.